So the name of the book, Color Him Father. I know by now you want to get a copy. We'll tell you how to do that before we're done. Our guest today is Dr. Lawrence Drake II. I want to just pick up this rage thing, because I think that the rage that is inside of our men, even we as black women, either we don't know what to do with it either. We don't know how to deal with that either.
Right. Well, that's, I often would say, and it's often said that, black men don't communicate. Men don't communicate, period, but black men certainly.
Okay.
And at the foundation of some of that lack of communication is that rage. It is very difficult to talk about things that hurt us because we're not sure how it's received. Again, it goes back to, if I tell you something about me that hurts me, will you use it to hurt me again? And so therefore, I'd just rather not tell you, so I hold that and I keep that. So when you look at things like our mental condition, our mental health, our physical health, part of the reason that we oftentimes don't outlive our women, our wives, our significant, is because we have contracted the stress internally from that rage. We hold on to it because it has really no place to go.
It has nowhere to go.
And so we also have a stigma in our culture about seeking mental health and mental health counseling and support. That's another thing that we have to overcome. So that vulnerability, that idea of vulnerability, and I write about it in the book. There's an author that I took a particular quote from his book, and he said, one of the biggest gifts that my dad ever gave me was his tears. Because he said, that made me know what a man was.
Because he was strong enough to cry.
That's right. And he had never seen that. I never saw my father cry.
Really?
My father never said, I love you. And there's so many men that I know, that I meet, that are my contemporaries. That's never happened because of the way we're socialized. And the point is, we have to learn how to deal with the rage, juxtaposition against the times we need to be vulnerable, particularly with our children, particularly with those who love us and those who we love. And that isn't always easy to do.
So you talk about 7 fathers who have lost their children. Right. And now you talk about this rage that is already there anyway.
Right. The
loss of a child is only going to exacerbate that on some level.
It could, which contributes to, marriages not surviving, relationships not surviving, with sometimes the child's mother, and there's data that suggests that there are reasons for that. Sometimes they're before the child dies, sometimes they're compounded by the death. But the bigger point is the support systems are also not really great, which is why I wrote the book, because where does a man talk about? When is a good time for him to cry? When is a good time to cry? Because he doesn't really have a good time. Is it when he's upset? Is it when he feels undervalued? Or is it when he loses his child on top of that? Is that the time? That's the question.
And add in the fact that in our culture, the ability to say, I think I need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Not even another man. But think about it, you go to another friend or brother and say, hey, man, that really hurt my feelings. The look that you'll get won't be one of, okay, brother, I understand where you're coming from. Because we're not socialized that way. Yet, what I can tell you about these 7 men is if I said that to any one of the other 6, they'd understand exactly what I was saying, because we've now developed this way of communicating about our feelings and how we feel.
I was going to say, so how are the 7 of you different now that you have this connectedness that this book brought about?
Well, again, because all of these guys are my friends, with me, it's not a lot different.
Okay.
But I trust them a bit more. So, for example, there are 2 other fathers from Pittsburgh or have a strong Pittsburgh tie that could not join me on the book tour here in Pittsburgh, because I knew that I had gotten everything they had to give for the book. So I wasn't upset with them that they couldn't come, because I know exactly why. Even though they said, well, there's stuff going on, but I knew what the reason was.
Okay.
And they knew they could say that to me and it wouldn't be an issue.
They knew they could say that to you, and you would know
Exactly.
what they were really
In fact,
saying.
the brother that I mentioned, whose daughter was murdered 15 years ago, when he got his copy of the book, he said, you know, let me just say this to you. You know why I couldn't do this. And I said, when you read the book, you'll know that I know why you couldn't do it. Because after going through and really writing the book, the one thing that was clear to me, and actually it was clear earlier, if I knew how bad it hurt to lose my daughter, when these other men who were my friends lost their children, I would have cried for them much harder. That's how much I knew now what I was experiencing that I didn't experience even when I was sitting with them trying to comfort them. Because I still didn't have an idea of what that pain was like. Once I lost Kia, it was real clear.
So, what's my takeaway from this story? What's my takeaway from the book?
From the book, the insights are that that there is this vulnerability and rage that's juxtaposition that we're constantly managing. And it manifests itself in different ways, sometimes constructive, sometimes not so. But that it takes a great deal of courage to be vulnerable, and we have to do more of that. Number two, I would say that the book is written not just for black men, but it's also written for black women.
That was going to be my next question.
Because we want to give some insight into us that you might not discern or get to hear. And then the third thing is that for aspiring fathers, those who are fathers, early fathers, young fathers, or not yet fathers, we want to let them see an example of others. And then the final point I think that we want the book to make, that I want the book to make, is that go home and hug your kids a little bit harder tonight, today, or when you see them. Tell them you love them, because tomorrow's not promised.
Because we do love our kids.
Yeah.
We just don't always say it or show it.
It's important to do both.
And we assume, oh, they know we love it. They know I love them.
Well, that's true even between a man and a woman, too. So it's really true for children. There's a chapter in the book called Not One Without the Other. And what I mean by that is that if you all aren't getting along, you need to resolve that. But what's most important, even if you don't resolve it, you need to be really equally in on nurturing that child.
On nurturing the child. Okay, so now you want this book? You want to get this book? We're going to tell you how to do that in just a minute. Don't go away. When the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show continues, we'll be right back.